Letting go is one of the most difficult steps after a divorce, especially when love has been part of your life for a long time. The past relationship has shaped you in ways both visible and invisible. It influences how you see yourself now and how you imagine your future. But if the past casts too long a shadow, it can blind you to new possibilities. Before you can truly welcome new love or even companionship, you must first acknowledge what that past relationship meant and what it didn't. This acknowledgement isn't about blaming yourself or your ex-partner, nor is it about rewriting the past into something it wasn't. It's about honest acceptance, seeing the good alongside the flaws, recognizing patterns that helped or hindered growth, embracing the grief and the lessons without letting either consume you. Grief in this context is not just about loss of a person. It's also about mourning the future you imagined but didn't get to live. The dreams shared, the routines built, the intertwined identities that now feel untangled, yet raw. Sometimes this grief sneaks up when you least expect it, on a quiet Sunday morning, or in the space between conversations with friends. It's a silent ache that no one can rush or fix for you. Acknowledging this pain doesn't mean you are weak. It means you are human. And in being human, you honor the depth of your capacity to love and be loved. Holding this space allows your heart to breathe, to open slowly, rather than snapping shut in defense. There is often a temptation to push the past away quickly, to say, "I'm done with all this," or "I'm moving on." While such resolve might sound strong, it can also be a mask for unresolved emotions lurking beneath. True release happens not in rushing, but in sitting with discomfort, in naming what still lingers and why. Sometimes, what holds us back is not just the memories, but the stories we tell ourselves about those memories. I wasn't enough. They betrayed me. I should have seen the signs. These narratives can become prisons, repeating over and over, blurring the line between fact and fear. Recognizing these stories for what they are, interpretations, not absolute truths, gives you the power to rewrite them. This rewriting isn't about denial or erasing history. It's about reclaiming your narrative, choosing which parts serve your growth and which ones can be left behind. This is where forgiveness enters, not as a grand gesture, but as a quiet act of kindness toward yourself and the other person. Forgiveness frees you from carrying burdens that are not yours to bear forever. And yet forgiveness does not mean forgetting boundaries or lessons learned. It means respecting your own journey and acknowledging that the past relationship was a chapter, not the whole story. The impact of that relationship on your current dating perspective can be subtle or glaring. You might find yourself wary, guarding your heart behind walls built from past hurt. Or perhaps you swing between hope and skepticism, unsure if trust is possible again. You may notice patterns repeating, seeking out similar types, reacting in familiar ways, or avoiding intimacy altogether. Becoming aware of these patterns is a step toward healing. It doesn't mean dwelling on mistakes or blaming yourself. It means observing without judgment, like a traveler noting the terrain before deciding which path to take next. It's also important to recognize that the wounds from past relationships don't always come from dramatic events. Sometimes they stem from small, persistent disappointments or unmet needs that piled up over time. These subtle scars can influence your ability to open up, to believe in kindness, to imagine a future shared with someone new. Releasing the past is not about forgetting those scars, but allowing them to heal in their own time. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel progress, others regression. Patience with yourself is essential. In this process, it can be helpful to create rituals of closure. This might be writing a letter to your former partner, not necessarily to send, but to articulate feelings, or symbolically letting go through actions like releasing a stone into a river or simply saying aloud what you want to leave behind. These acts are not magic, but they mark intention, which moves healing forward. You might find that sharing your story with trusted friends or a counselor provides clarity. Speaking the unsaid aloud lightens the load. Remember, you don't have to carry the past alone. Once you acknowledge and release the past, the space you create isn't empty. It's ready to be filled with new experiences, new connections, new definitions of love. But the transition is often gradual. You may find yourself oscillating between hope and hesitation, excitement, and fear. This is normal. It's part of rebuilding. What's important is not to rush through this stage, but to honor it. To give yourself permission to feel fully, joy and sadness, courage and doubt. These emotions are companions, not obstacles. In letting go, you reclaim your power to shape what comes next. You become the author of your story again, writing with intention, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of yourself. This journey is not just about finding a new partner. It's about rediscovering who you are beneath the layers of past relationships, the dreams that remain, the passions waiting to be awakened, the love that begins with yourself. So as you stand at this threshold, ask yourself, what do I carry from my past, and what am I ready to release? How can I honor my history without letting it define my future? It's tempting to dream of perfection, the flawless companion who fits seamlessly into your life, completing every gap and fulfilling every wish. But such visions, though comforting, often become traps. They blur reality with fantasy, and in the process, raise walls higher than those built from past wounds. Setting realistic goals is not about settling. It's about tuning into your true needs and values without the noise of societal pressures or unrealistic ideals. It's a quiet, honest conversation with yourself about what truly matters. At this stage in life, what you seek is likely very different from what you imagined in your youth. The priorities have shifted. Perhaps security feels less about financial stability and more about emotional safety. Maybe companionship means laughter over grand gestures, shared values and mutual respect outweigh superficial charm. Yet, defining these goals is not always simple. The mind can swirl with doubts. Am I asking too much? Too little? Should I compromise more or hold firm? These questions reflect the complexity of desire, shaped by experience, loss, and hope. A useful place to start is to consider what qualities in a partner nourish your well-being rather than drain it. What kind of presence makes you feel seen, heard, and valued? What traits ignite a spark not just of attraction, but of genuine connection? Avoiding unrealistic expectations means recognizing that every person carries their own history, imperfections, and struggles. No one arrives with a perfect package, just as you do not. Accepting this does not mean lowering your standards. It means appreciating authenticity and the courage it takes to be vulnerable and imperfect. It also means being honest about what you bring to the relationship. What are your strengths and vulnerabilities? How do your past experiences shape the way you love and trust? Setting goals involves this two-way reflection. Not only what you want, but what you offer. Perhaps you crave laughter, kindness, and patience. Maybe honesty, a shared curiosity about the world, or a similar rhythm of life. You might desire someone who respects your independence and also cherishes intimacy. As you outline these qualities, watch for signs of idealization. Sometimes the heart clings to an image of a partner who embodies all we wish to be or have, not necessarily who exists. It's easy to get caught in the idea of the perfect partner and overlook real, imperfect people who could be wonderful companions. This is where mindfulness becomes a guide. Observe your thoughts and feelings around what you want. Are your expectations grounded in reality or driven by fear, loneliness, or past pain? Are you seeking a partner to heal wounds or to add joy to a life already whole? Balancing desire and realism doesn't diminish romance, it enriches it. It allows space for genuine connection to grow, rather than forcing it into a mold that can't fit. In practical terms, this might mean writing down your qualities and desires, then reviewing them with curiosity and kindness. Adjust where needed, recognizing that flexibility is part of wisdom. It also helps to reflect on deal breakers, not as rigid rules, but as boundaries protecting your well-being. Knowing what you cannot accept is as important as knowing what you hope for. For example, respect for your time, honesty in communication, and kindness are often non-negotiable. These boundaries ensure that relationships built are safe and nurturing. At the same time, recognize where compromise is possible. Maybe you don't need a partner who shares every hobby but who supports your passions. Maybe minor differences in lifestyle preferences are less important than emotional availability. Setting realistic goals is also about pacing. After years of marriage or long-term relationships, the idea of rushing into something new can feel daunting or even reckless. Patience with the process and with yourself allows the relationship to develop naturally, not under pressure. As you consider what you want, remember that goals can evolve. Life itself changes, and so do our hearts. What feels essential now might shift after a few months or years. Holding your goals lightly while staying true to core values invites growth rather than rigidity. A key aspect often overlooked is the role of self-compassion in this process. It's easy to judge yourself harshly for past mistakes or the loneliness you might feel, but meeting yourself with kindness nurtures the courage to continue seeking, learning, and loving. Realistic goals are like a compass, guiding you, but not confining you. They help you navigate the vast and sometimes confusing terrain of dating, keeping you aligned with what nourishes your soul. In this journey, you may encounter moments of doubt or disappointment, a date that doesn't spark, a connection that fades, a hope that dims. These are not failures but signals, opportunities to recalibrate and learn more about what truly matters. It's helpful to remember that finding a partner after 50 is not about chasing youth or recapturing the past. It's about embracing a new chapter, one filled with wisdom, self-awareness, and the quiet joy of authentic companionship. Setting realistic goals means choosing love that fits the life you have now, with its richness and complexity. It means recognizing that the right partner is not someone who completes you, but someone who complements the whole person you already are. So, as you reflect on your desires, ask yourself, what qualities in a partner feel like home? Where am I willing to be flexible, and where do I need firm boundaries? How can I hold my hopes with realism and kindness? If you had told yourself a decade ago that the road to connection might wind through a digital realm filled with profiles, swipes, and messages, it might have seemed a strange or even intimidating idea. Yet, here we are, in a world where meeting someone new often begins with a tap on a screen, a carefully chosen photo, or a brief line that hints at personality. For many stepping into dating after 50, this modern landscape can feel like an entirely new country, sometimes thrilling, sometimes bewildering, sometimes daunting. It asks us to learn new languages, codes, and customs while still holding on to the essence of who we are. But embracing this space does not mean losing yourself to technology. Instead, it can be a tool, a compass even, that helps you explore possibilities with intention and openness. One of the first steps is choosing the right platform. The world of dating apps is vast and varied, each with its own culture and audience. Some are bustling with younger crowds, while others cater specifically to mature singles seeking meaningful connection. Selecting a space that feels aligned with your values and intentions can make a significant difference. Think of it as choosing the right setting for a conversation, a quiet cafe instead of a noisy bar. Where do you feel most comfortable? Where do you believe you will find the kind of people you want to meet? Once you've chosen your platform, the next challenge is crafting a profile that reflects the real you. This is your introduction to potential matches, a chance to showcase who you are beyond the surface. Honesty is the foundation here. In a world prone to exaggeration and curated images, authenticity stands out. Sharing a glimpse of your personality, your interests, and your life story invites connection built on truth rather than illusion. Photos can be more than just snapshots. They can be windows into your world, images that reveal your passions, your smile, your genuine moments. A well-chosen picture can speak louder than words, yet it's the combination of image and voice that draws someone in. Writing your bio is a delicate art. It's an opportunity to express what moves you, what you seek, and what makes you unique. Avoid cliches or vague phrases. Instead, aim for clarity and warmth. Let your words carry the tone of a conversation you would enjoy having over coffee. But navigating online interactions also requires caution and respect for yourself and others. The anonymity and distance the internet provides can sometimes encourage behaviors we wouldn't tolerate face-to-face. Trust your intuition when communicating. If something feels off, it probably is. Setting boundaries early protects your emotional safety. Don't hesitate to step away from conversations that raise red flags, whether that's dishonesty, disrespect, or pressure. Online dating can also bring surprises, pleasant and challenging. You may find yourself connecting with people from different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. This diversity can be enriching but also requires openness and patience. Remember that behind every profile is a human being with their own fears, hopes, and stories. Approaching interactions with empathy creates a space where genuine connection can grow. At the same time, it's important not to lose sight of your own needs and pace. The digital realm can move quickly, with messages and matches piling up. It's easy to feel overwhelmed or pressured to respond or meet too soon. Give yourself permission to go slow, to pause, to step back and breathe. This rhythm honors your well-being and keeps the experience joyful rather than stressful. Also, be mindful of the energy you bring. Engaging with kindness, curiosity, and respect tends to invite the same in return. This doesn't mean ignoring warning signs or compromising boundaries, but it does mean offering the best of yourself in each interaction. Beyond the apps themselves, consider the communities and groups available online or locally for singles over 50. These spaces often foster shared experiences, offering support and encouragement that make the journey less solitary. Leaning into these communities can provide valuable insights, friendship, and a sense of belonging that complements the search for a partner. Embracing the modern dating landscape requires courage. It asks you to step into a space that may feel unfamiliar, with vulnerability and hope. Yet, with the wisdom of experience and a grounded sense of self, it can be navigated with grace. So, as you open your device and enter this digital world, carry with you the understanding that technology is a tool, neither a solution nor a barrier, but a gateway. Your heart and mind remain the true guides. Entering a new relationship after years marked by change and introspection brings both excitement and caution. There is a delicate balance to be found, a dance between hope and wisdom, openness and boundaries. Honoring your boundaries becomes the cornerstone of this dance. Boundaries are not walls, but gentle fences that protect your emotional well-being and respect your needs. They remind you that love is not about losing yourself, but about standing firmly in who you are. Setting clear expectations with a new partner is an act of kindness to yourself and to the other. It's about communicating what you need to feel safe, valued, and understood. This clarity creates a space where trust can flourish. In this stage, compatibility reveals itself not only in shared interests, but in alignment of values and life goals. It's the quiet understanding that you are moving forward together, not side by side alone. Finding harmony means embracing both the similarities and the differences. It's in the acceptance of another's flaws and the gentle invitation to grow together. A fulfilling relationship honors individuality, while weaving two lives into a shared story. The path forward is rarely smooth or predictable. There will be moments of joy and moments of challenge. The measure of a healthy relationship lies not in avoiding difficulty, but in the willingness to navigate it with respect and compassion. Growth becomes a shared journey, learning to listen not just with ears but with heart, to forgive not as a duty but as a gift, and to nurture a connection that evolves with time. At times, the relationship may reveal deeper layers of your own self. It may challenge old fears or ignite forgotten dreams. This reflection can be uncomfortable, but also transformative. Embracing this process means accepting that love is a journey without a final destination. It unfolds in moments, some quiet, some intense, each adding texture to your shared experience. You may find yourself asking, how do I stay true to myself while opening fully to another? How do I balance independence and intimacy? How do I nurture a love that sustains through seasons of change? The answers come gradually, often in the small choices made daily, in kindness offered, in patience practiced, in presence given. Building a fulfilling relationship is not about perfection, but about presence. It is the willingness to show up again and again with an open heart and steady hands. As you move forward, remember, love after 50 carries the beauty of experience and the promise of new beginnings. It is an invitation to rediscover not only a partner, but yourself. In this unfolding story, every step is both an ending and a beginning. Every moment holds the possibility of deep connection and renewal. So, as you stand at the edge of this new chapter, consider, what does love mean to me now? How can I nurture a bond that honors both my journey and my partner's? What courage do I need to keep moving forward with hope and grace? The path is yours to walk, sometimes uncertain, often surprising, but always rich with the potential to grow, to heal, and to love anew.